Alright, greetings everyone. So here we go. We are looking at another question, and this one is looking at salaries. Right, another consumer arithmetic question. This one is a CSEC past paper, May to June 2019, question 1B. So here's the question. So Irma's take-home pay is $4,320 per fortnight, and they note that a fortnight is every 2 weeks. So each fortnight, Irma's pay is allocated according to the following table. And we have the information. Part 1 says, what is Irma's annual take-home pay? And assume she works 52 weeks in any given year. So here goes. Irma earns $4,320 per fortnight every 2 weeks. So we have two approaches. One, we could just work out the weekly pay. So divide that by 2, and we get $2,160 per week. Right, so now that we know the weekly pay, and we know that there are 52 weeks in the year, we simply multiply this amount by 52 in order to get the annual take-home pay. Alright, and that gives us $112,320. So that's one approach. Another approach is to know that there are 26 fortnights in a year. How do we know this? Right, a fortnight is every 2 weeks. So divide the 52 weeks by 2 weeks, and it tells us that since a year is 52 weeks, and each 2 weeks we get a fortnight, so share up the year into 2-week periods by dividing by 2, and we get 26 weeks. So if we know that there are 26 fortnights in a year, we can simply multiply the fortnightly pay by 26 to get the annual take-home pay. And we get the same answer, $112,320. So that's part 1. Part 2 says, determine the amount of money that Irma allocates for rent each month. And here we see that the rent allocation is X dollars. So we have the total allocation and we have the breakdown. So here we're going to do some arithmetic. So first we know that X dollars plus $629 plus 2X dollars plus 1,750 should come to a total of 4,320. Group like terms, so we're going to group the X's and group the values that have no X. Right, so I remember when you're moving terms, you need to keep the sign. So this is plus 2X, so when you move it, it will still be plus 2X. This is plus 629. When you move it over, it will still be plus 629. So we get X dollars plus 2X dollars plus $629 plus 1,750 is equal to 4,320. Now, add like terms. So 1x, because when it's X dollars, it's really 1x. Right? In algebra, we don't write 1x. So 1x plus 2x, that gives us 3x. And 629 plus 1,750 gives us 2,379. So we want to solve for x. So we're going to move the 2,379 over to the right side. To do so, we do the opposite of the operation that's happening. So this is plus 2,379. So we subtract that amount from both sides. Right? And we get, when we subtract it from the left side, it cancels it out. And then we subtract it from the right side to balance the equation. Some people say you bring it over to the right and the sign will change. That's alright as well. But now it's complete. So 3x is equal to 1,941. To find x, right, we do the opposite of the operation. So this is 3 multiplied by x. So we do the opposite, which is divide. And we have to do it to both sides, because anything you do to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So divide both sides by 3. Right? On the right side, 3 over 3, that cancels. On the left side, it cancels out. Right? So we would have 3 over 3. So the 3's cancel, leaving just x. And on the right side, we have 1,941 divided by 3, which gives $647. So x is equal to 647. However, they want to know how much is allocated each month. And remember that the pay here is her fortnightly pay. So X would be $647 will be allocated each fortnight from her total fortnightly pay of $4,320. So how much is allocated each month, right? We have to recognize that 26 fortnights in a year. So we can multiply this by 26 or find the weekly allocation by dividing it by 2, then finding the annual and divide by 12. Alright, that sounds like a lot. So let's just do it together. Alright, here goes. So X is 647. So that means that she allocates that amount each fortnight. To find the weekly rent allocation, because the fortnight is 2 weeks, we divide it by 2. And we're saying she allocates $323.50 per week to rent. We have 52 weeks in the year, so multiply that by 52. And we get the annual allocation as $16,822. Now, to find out the monthly allocation, how many months make up a year? 12 months. So we divide that amount by 12, right, to find out the amount. We could also have just multiplied the 646.7 by 26 fortnights, since 26 fortnights make up a year. And you notice, same answer. Alright, so for the monthly, divide by 12, and we get $1,401.83. Now, some persons would have been saying, if we know that it's 647 per week, why don't we just multiply by 4 weeks? The answer is that not every month has 4 weeks, right? Some months have 5 weeks. In fact, we have 52 weeks in a year, and we have 12 months. So you notice that if each month had 4 weeks, 4 times 12 would be 48. So to get the monthly, we don't multiply by 4. We calculate the annual allocation and then divide the amount by 12 to get the monthly. Alright, I hope that sinks in. Alright, it goes on. All of Irma's savings are used to pay her son's university tuition cost, which is $150,000. If Irma's pay remains the same and she saves the same amount each month, what is the minimum number of years that she must work in order to save enough money to cover her son's tuition cost? Alright, so here goes. So weekly, since she saves $1,750 per fortnight, right, her weekly savings will be that amount divided by 2. So on a weekly basis, she's saving $875 towards the tuition. Right, now, how much is that per year? Multiply by 52. So on a yearly basis, or on an annual basis, she's saving $45,500. Now the question is, how many years will it take for this $45,500 to add up to $150,000? Right? How many years? So the simple approach is to divide. Right? 150,000 divided by 45,500 per year. That tells us how many years. And the answer here is 3.30 years. So this is saying that in a little over 3 years, she will have enough to pay the tuition cost. Alright? Now, we can also look at it this way. If the annual savings is 45,500, after 1 year, that's the amount she would have. After 2 years, she'll have another 45,500, bringing it to 91,000. After 3 years, she's going to have another 45,500, bringing her to $136,500. Now, you realize that this is now close to the 150,000, but it's not exactly there. How much more does she need? So after the 3 years, she's short by $13,500 to get to $150,000. Right, so after 3 years of savings, she'll still need $13,500. Now what we're saying is, if her savings for the year is $45,500, right, what fraction of the year does $13,500 represent? And we can divide to find that. Right, so $13,500 as a fraction of the whole year, $45,500, will be 0.3. So we have 3 full years plus another 0.3 year to give us 3.3 years. All right, so different approaches. This will be a bit longer. It's simpler just to divide the 150,000 by the $45,500. All right, so as usual, have fun practicing. We'll be back with another video very soon.